हेलो दोस्तों, आज की वीडियो में एक न्यूज़ मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूं जो न्यू साउथ वेल्स स्टेट से आ रही है इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट के रिगार्डिंग। और आपने अब तक चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो सबसे पहले सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन को दबाना मत भूलिए। Hundreds of international students will return to NSW by the end of this year, although vaccine restriction will mean students from key markets in China and Nepal are not likely to be among them. इस रिटर्न प्लान में चाइना और नेपाल इन दोनों कंट्रियों के स्टूडेंट ट्रैवल नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि इनकी वैक्सीन कोविशील्ड नहीं है। और वहां की गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि इंडियन मार्केट वाज वन ऑफ द टॉप प्रायोरिटीज फॉर द एनएसडब्ल्यू गवर्नमेंट एज पार्ट ऑफ इट्स न्यू ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रेटजी। और जो गुरनाम सिंह हैं जो इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स की बहुत हेल्प की है उन्होंने भी अपने इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट से स्टोरी शेयर की है। काफ़ी टाइम से इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स की रिटर्न बैक के लिए आवाज़ उठाई हुई है और अपने ट्विटर अकाउंट से भी इन्होंने एक ट्वीट शेयर किया था। ग्रेट न्यूज़, इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स आर सेट टू रिटर्न टू New South Wales by the end of this year. Indians market was one of the top priorities for the NSW government as part of its new trade and investment strategy.
Well, welcome back. There is some good news for international students looking to get back to New South Wales. A pilot plan has been given the green light. Let's go live now to the Minister for Jobs, Investment and Tourism, Stuart Ayres. Good to see you. There's so many international students just waiting to hear. So what is the plan, Stuart Ayres?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. It's really great to talk to you about this. International students are really dynamic and important part of the New South Wales economy. They contribute, in fact, international education contributes about $14 billion to the New South Wales economy. So it's really great to be announcing that we're going to pilot the return of international students in December. We're launching an expressions of interest for international students who are currently offshore and want to come back into Australia. Off the back of that expressions of interest, we'll then work with universities and education providers about identifying where our first few flights will go to charter those students back in. And then when they're here in Sydney, they'll be doing their quarantine through purpose-built student accommodation. We've partnered with one of the providers here in Sydney, Scape, to set up a building that's been assessed by New South Wales Health and New South Wales Police to ensure those students get to come back through a safe quarantine environment and get set up to get back onto campus.
Well, look, we're going to reach 70% in a matter of weeks, double vaccinated in when we're looking at 80%, that'll be in November. But you're not even looking to a pilot program of a minimal number of students until December. Why?
Well, I think it will take a little bit of time to get all the students identified. It also allows us to work with the universities around chartering flights. We know that flight access to Sydney, because of their capped environment, is still compromised. So that makes it difficult for students to be able to make plans. So this pilot is as much about ensuring that we get the logistics right to get them in. We know that our hotel quarantine environment is pretty dynamic. We've already announced here in New South Wales our home quarantine trial. The Commonwealth Government is making really strong and positive overtones around getting more Australians back as we get towards the end of the year. So I think that's going to continue to evolve. This is about making sure that we put a really solid marker in the ground. We say to those international students who are in markets offshore that we're reopening. We're going to start